Hey you guys, coming back at you with another daily rant. This daily rant is different because I broke a cardinal rule, but it was necessary. What I did, well, let me tell you how the story started. On our daily walk, and sometimes here in Thailand, the sidewalks are unlevel, or sometimes when they have a big rain, you get pockets of water underneath, the sidewalk. And they call it, I don't know if it's a word they call it, but anyway, I ended up stepping on that. Water rushed up in my face, and I fell onto my left knee. Now I'm thinking I could walk it off, like I do normally. The fall wasn't that severe, you know what I mean? But my knee started swelling. I think I fell in the wrong kind of place of it. Now, I got insurance, right? It's called accident insurance. But there's a catch-3 to this accident insurance. Make you not really want to use it, but there's a catch-3 to it. And the catch-3 is, you have to, if you have an accident, right, you have to go to the hospital, I think within 2 hours or 3 hours of the accident happening. So instead of you getting enough time to see if the injury itself was, hospital worthy, maybe it's just going to swell up, and after it swells up, it'll come down and everything be normal. But at my age, what if it doesn't? What if it requires I to boost some ligaments and we have to operate? And because I did not take my butt to the hospital when it first originally occurred, then my insurance won't cover it. So that was one of the reasons why I had failed, and this is one of the reasons why I went to the hospital. Right. Now I'm saying the hospital because I might say something that could be considered. And here in Thailand, you don't have a right to what do you call criticize. So I'm not going to say the name of the hospital. All I'm going to tell you is it's a private hospital. And it's supposed to be considered one of the best hospitals here in Thailand. So anyway. Well, I go there, I explain to them, and I got seen quite quickly. But in the process of me waiting on the orthopedic doctor to come to work, because the accident happened quite early, because we walk early to get away from the sun or whatever potential rain that might occur. So we were at the hospital at 8 o'clock. They asked me when did the accident happen. I told them 7:30. So while we have to wait for the orthopedic person, the orthopedic doctor, the nurses come by and they see that I was in somewhat of pain. They said, you want something for the pain? And I'm thinking, no, sure, no problem. I'm thinking, they're going to give me a shot in my knee to numb it until, whatever the case now may be. Or, so she started preparing me with a shot in my arm and putting the things in and started administering what they call pain medication. And unbeknownst to me, it almost appears as if they was trying to OD me. Because as soon as this lady gave me this vial of this whatever shot she gave me of, I immediately started going in the shock. Chest started hurting. I immediately started sweating profusely. And I'm talking about all over the place. My wife would put the pictures of these IVs that they had in my arm right here. See that? Now, and on top of that, right, they caused by them giving me I don't know, epidural. I don't know what they gave me, but they start causing heart palpitations. It's the same feeling that you would get, say if you were doing a heart scan test without you walking the stairs or anything like that. So they'll give you this kind of medication to induce, a rapid heartbeat so they can test to see if you got any, clogged arteries, irregular heartbeat. So as soon as she administered what it felt like, what I just described, I broke out immediately in a sweat. And I'm talking about not just a little sweat. I'm talking about dripping. Like twice as much as I am now, and I'm sitting in a hot jacuzzi. And then my chest started hurt. Then all the nurses and all the doctors come rushing over. And then they slap EKGs all on my chest. Now, mind you, I'm just in there because of my knee. I'm not in there for none of this other crap. So they come over and then they start putting EKGs, and then she brought the sonogram open, started listening to the rhythm of my chest. But they seen how profusely of sweat. Now, all this was just supposed to be a little pain medication. So now they come over, the doctors come over, and they said, well, we're going to take a blood test, see if everything is okay, fine. So after I agreed to that, some administrative nurse comes over and requested my wife to sign because she said that this blood test that they giving me for the shit that they started is not covered under my accident insurance policy. And then I politely said, but you the one caused this episode. It's your fault. He said, but the blood test is not, it's not a part of the insurance. See, they try to get you for some more money. See, and that's the thing about it. And then after the blood test, then I would have to pay for a doctor's consultation, which will not exactly be covered neither. Up under even though they caused the episode. Can you imagine that? The hospital causes me to have this seizure type experience, and I just came in from my leg. Then they want to charge me for what they caused. He said, well, the insurance won't cover it, and I said, you caused this. So why am I paying for something you caused? So that just goes to show you, when you attend a private hospital, here in Thailand, it's pay to play. They're going to try to squeeze you for as much money as they possibly can. Now they got screwed off because I did have the top of the line accident insurance. And I never used it. It's the first time I ever used it. I've been having that insurance right now for about 5-6 years. And this is the first time I ever used it. And I don't think they like that. So they gave me some shit that caused my heart to palpitate as if I was under one of those stress tests that they give you when they, it's something else. I'll put the name of that other stress test that they do for your heart when you don't want to walk the treadmill. Say if you got a knee injury and you can't walk the treadmill, but they want to induce your heart to beat as fast as possibly can so they can listen to any abnormalities in it. That's how it felt. That's how the shit that they gave me, supposed to have been pain medication, felt. I immediately broke out in a cold sweat as if I had ran 100 miles an hour. Then they immediately start putting these EKGs on my chest and clips on my ankles and clips on my arm. Look, see the picture? See the picture my wife was putting up right there? So, that was my experience. And that led me to believe I'm not going to the hospital no more. Y'all can let that part of the truth go. I'll go for a broken bone, and I'll go for a broken hip. But as far as you administering, giving me any kind of anything, I don't even want to accept a cup of water. I don't want a pain pill. I don't want a shot. I don't want an IV. I don't want shit. If it's got anything that you putting in my system, a needle or anything else that you putting in my system, I don't want it. You know. You shouldn't have been giving me pay. You should have been a licensed, what they call an anesthesiologist or something like that. Something could have went horribly wrong. And I kind of feel something was off because, I have a record at that particular hospital. So when they see that I had been in to check on something earlier, just to check, they'll try to use that to put you on that medical merry-go-round. I think when I first got here, I went to that particular hospital to do a physical, a checkup. I wanted my heart checked out, and they gave me the treadmill. I wanted my stomach, gut checked out, so I did a CT scan. See, because I'm somewhat of a hypochondriac. I don't want nothing creeping up on me. If we can detect it early, if it's anything creeping up on me, let's do it. Because there's always primitive and there's always alternative. This is the reason why we do blood tests. If my blood tests tell me that my bad cholesterol is, higher than my good cholesterol, but you need cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is an iffy kind of point. All right. Now, since they just gave me that little, what we call that, heart inducement, and come to find out my ticker is working perfectly, and I didn't even have to pay for that. But they were just trying. I didn't ask for it neither, but now I don't have to pay for it. All I got to do is go to the hospital in question and get my EKG from that incident. And that's it. Told you. It's pay to play. If you're going to take your ass to a private hospital, you got private insurance. You better hope that they don't try to, what we call that, induce some kind of heart phenomenon. You know what I mean? Yeah. And other than that, you guys, look, like, subscribe. I mean, look. Now, I'm thanking you guys a lot because mostly all of my Facebook, not all of them, but most of them have came over and subscribed to my channel, Cook Without a Crime. And I've noticed that. I thank you guys so very, very much. I also noticed that you guys actually like to read sometime. I had a suggestion from one of our customers that I should translate these books into 3 different languages. I was going to do French, okay, and it was going to be French, Spanish, and Mandarin. And then I said, you know what? Let's limit it because I think I can get up to 5 languages. So I was going to try to throw in Portuguese. You know what I mean? So, well, anyway. But thank you. And for you guys that are not just looking at me and not subscribing, man, it only takes that little button to push that, man. Seriously. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I am being pushed, right, personally, to actually do a cost of living video. And look, listen, you know how I can only talk about my personal journey. Now, if it relates to you, that's all the more better. That's all the more better. But if it doesn't, cost of living is academic. Especially when I have to factor in age and, genetics. How often you go into the hospital? If you don't have a contract like me, can you sweat it out? And you know what I'm saying? What's your plan in place for when you get 85 and 90? What's your plan in place? You have a plan in place. You have a nursing home already established and paid for. So when you get that age, the transition will be that much smoother. So you don't have to be calling relatives and grandkids and shit like that to tell them to come see to your old wobbly ass. All right? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. All that shit got to be in place. You know? If I'm not planning on going to the hospital, I'm going to shit like that. Put that in place. Including your cremation, your burial. However your last will is going to be. I don't want to be shipped back to America. No, hell no. I'll be cremated here by a monk, by a monk ceremony. And I already gave my wife instructions what to do with my ashes. You know, she might just sit my ashes up there on the bar next to that wouldn't be a bad spot. So, you know, but anyway, yeah, so now the knee is getting much, much better. All right? But those needles that they stuck in my hand, I'm still feeling the pain. Like they put one here, one there, one here. You understand? My wife show you the pictures. Show the pictures again, baby, right there. See? Then I just went there for my knee. That's it. You know? That's the reason why. I kind of feel if the insurance company would give me more time to report an accident, it'll be less reporting. Because the only reason why I did it is they only give you a certain amount of window. And what if my knee is really screwed up and I didn't report it in that certain amount of window frame? Then insurance couldn't pay for shit. What if I had needed a whole new knee or some shit like that from falling on it? Some stuff was shattered. They had to do an operation and I waited. And then I waited too late and then it didn't fall under the insurance. See what I'm saying? So it's a catch 3 to that. But now it is feeling much better. I am glad to say. You know, and another thing I'm glad to say too. He tried to throw it in there, talking about arthritis. I ain't got no damn arthritis. You know, it's like, you know, and I hope he didn't try to write that shit down. You know, because you have to prove that. You know what I'm saying? Who said arthritis? You got no damn arthritis. What's wrong with you? So, let's see what you got. Oh yeah, you got, look. Man, all these books right now are audio books. Well, not quite all the way. My wife is still working on this one. All right, but that should be finished by the end of the week. So then you can get audio from Adobe and what is that? Shit, you would think I would know these things. You can get the audio books here on Spotify. But oh, there's another thing I gotta address. Listen, I have what they call a team. I don't answer the phone directly. You cannot directly message me as if I read the messages. I don't. Alright? Because there'd be so many. And I have a team that goes over each individual message and answer according to how they feel. I don't answer messages directly. They won't allow me to. They'll like to do. Excuse me for a minute. I gotta get some coconut. Sometimes you forget to, you know, drink the electro. You see, earlier, when I first woke up, because I knew I was going to take a nice hot bath, I had to take several different supplements. One of those supplements was magnesium. The other supplement was vitamin B100. And I took 6,000 URs of vitamin D. Then I also took I can't give you a percentage, but I took 3 capsules of omega-3 fatty fish oils and 2 CoQ10s. You understand? So the amount of liquids that I'm sweating out, right, is being replaced by the supplements that I took in earlier. Now, I'm not your doctor, so don't be doing what I do. All right, our body, we got different fingerprints, and our bodies gonna react differently to different things. So don't take word for word from me. What I'm saying, it works for me. Okay. So with vitamin B100, and I was just introduced to that, I have to take vitamin B every day. See, I take that supplement once every other day, or once every 2 days. You know, and because and the same way with vitamin D, it's pretty much the same way with all my supplements. I really don't take nothing on a daily basis. Zero. I might take it every other day or something like that. Because sometimes you have to let your body's natural ability to produce those vitamins to stay at it. If you keep taking it, then your body feels it don't have any need to produce it. Now, what I feel that I'm doing is like a jump start. I jump start my brain to know that we got this B in us, and and let's continue to make it. Because if I'm not taking it every day, it's gonna have to make it on its own. So that helps your immune system, helps you heal a lot better. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is a good way to, especially too, you see I got the jacuzzi on, right? And this is also a good way to sweat out beer and vodka. Shit that you might have had the night before, 2 nights before that. You get a chance to sweat all that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think they invented the steam room? And when the steam room first came out, well, I ain't gonna give you the history of the Roman, or what they call it, the Persian art of bath. But it was basically to sweat out impurities that you would normally, would keep in your body, and just wait to skirt it with urine. So the steam, the jacuzzi, or any other apparatus that causes you to sweat helps you eliminate, a lot of contaminants. Because you got to remember something, man. Your skin is the biggest organism that is. To tell you the truth about it. So, can you stop that? And I sure love my jacuzzi. Ordinarily, I'd be watching some kind of financial television program. Y'all see what my Bitcoin did today, huh? Yeah, I don't want to get on it, but just look at it. It jumped up, like $5,000 nigga, and overnight. So that put me in a pretty good mood. You know what I mean? But I still got a follow-up appointment about this knee, right? So I went there on the 12th, and I think the follow-up was today. Or yesterday. Gave me a week. But it's doing better now, but I don't trust him no more. I don't trust him. I kind of feel, see, and I'm not sure, but it's no need, but I'm not sure if that follow-up appointment is covered under my accident insurance. You dig what I'm saying? Because it was because of an accident that happened like a week ago. But now, for the most part, before I couldn't do that. Now it feels like it's coming back. I'm just going to have to learn how to stay up off of it. You know what I mean? And realize that I'm not able to heal as fast as I used to. Shit, I'm 64. I used to be able to walk that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Shake it off, man. Come on, walk that off. Now, shit, I slightly bumped it. Caused me a scrutiny pain. You dig what I'm saying? I got to learn which way, or they want me to keep that brace on. But I'm taking a bath now, so that's why the brace is just off. So that's not, yeah. But hey, that's my daily rant.